on their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums.
All right, guys, we are back for another episode of the Blitz the Bookie podcast. I'm Charlie Winkle, joined by Anthony Roberts. It is Monday, April the 21st, and we are 1 week away from Derby week. Next week, we're going to do our big Derby episode. So we probably won't talk much horse racing this week because I think we're going to save it all for next week, right, Anthony?
Yep.
Next week is all horse racing. So we'll get all the Derby action in next week. We are 3 days away from the NFL draft, so we'll get into some of that. We're also in the middle of the NBA playoffs, and the hockey playoffs just started. Anthony, we haven't talked football here in the last few weeks, so it'll be a little bit of a refreshment for us. So I am looking forward to seeing what happens in the draft. I think there's some storylines there, and seeing what my team, the Dolphins, do to try to strengthen their roster. So before we get started, Anthony, give my condolences to you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Anthony, mother passed away.
Good.
I do want to give my condolences to you. Sorry to hear about that. And, you know, I got your back, man.
No, it's appreciate it, and it's just glad she's not suffering no more. So, like I told you, remembering all the good memories and stuff like that. But, you know, watch somebody suffer, that's rough. So,
Yep.
I love my mom. Had a great mom. And last couple of years were rough on her, but some people don't have great parents. I always had good parents. I always really just had a good family in general. I had good grandparents. I was lucky because not everybody has that. So you don't think about that stuff till you get older, but it just is what it is.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that, man. I'm glad you are here this week. Wasn't sure, you know, what was going to happen this week. I know it's probably get your mind off of it a little bit. So glad you're here. If you've been listening, we did have a conversation scheduled for this Sunday. We're pushing that back. Probably going to be 2 weeks, I think, because next weekend's Derby weekend. I don't think I'm going to be in any shape next Sunday to do any talking to anybody. So we're probably going to push that back 2 weeks, but stay tuned for that, guys. The interview is still coming. It's just not going to come this week.
Big news. We got our Oaks tickets.
Yes.
That's nice. That's
yes,
nice.
we got our Oaks tickets.
Derbies are getting a little bit too expensive, but
They priced me out of Derby.
Maybe if I hit a whole lot on Oaks, I might wake up and look at Derby prices Saturday morning.
We're trying to get the code, Anthony, so we can get back on the backside for Derby. We'll talk a little bit about that next week, but anybody that has been to Derby, there's some different experiences that, you know, different ways you can go about it. And one of them is being on the backside. I think it's the best Derby experience that you can have, maybe unless you're on Millionaire's Row. I haven't been there yet, but the backside is awesome. And we're trying to get there, Anthony. We're working on getting a code this year. We'll go to the Derby for free, pretty much.
I'm all about it.
On the backside.
Maybe we can clean up all Derby week and but I did see that. I think we brought tickets at the right time because it looks like prices are starting to.
Are they going up?
Yeah, I like that. That makes me feel good about what we did.
All right.
Because we're always like, when do you buy them? When's the best time to buy the ticket? You know how it is when you're looking at stuff like that. So
we might have called it at a good time because they were up a few weeks ago, and I felt like they dropped considerably in the last week or so. And if you're saying they're back on the rise,
you know, the Oaks is about half the cost of what Derby is. For us local people, the Oaks is like being at the track. To me, it's almost as big as the day. I mean, I know a lot of people wouldn't say that. For me, it is, but like for anybody else, they would say Derby's bigger. But it's the same concept. You have a big race, you're leading up to it all day, a lot of stakes races, everybody's there. Yeah, it's not the Derby, but it's still the Oaks. And
the experience is pretty much the same.
It is. No,
besides the actual races that you're watching, the experience on Friday.
The Oaks is a huge race.
The same.
The Oaks is a huge race. It's not the Derby, but it's the next thing to it. It's a huge race. It's a build up to it. So yeah, we've had a good time. We went. You learn a little bit every year when you go. You graduate from going from the infield when you're young to finally getting some seats. But now they're starting to price some of the seats on Derby, just kind of pricing people out. But we are going to the clubhouse for like the third time, so that's nice. We learned a few things last year, learned a few things the year before. So every year you're a little bit more prepared.
We're in there, and I'm getting the fever. I know you are too.
No, I am.
We were sitting here talking for a few minutes. We said, well, yeah, we're not going to talk too much horse racing. And Anthony, I see him over here. While I'm sitting here talking, he's watching races, looking up horses. I've got the fever.
No, it is.
I'm wearing my Derby outfit next week and my Derby hat and everything, and we're going to do it big next week.
They're
We're
talking
gonna have
about
a couple segments too. Real quick, I'll let you get back.
Go ahead.
CT's Derby picks are coming again. Anthony.
Okay.
Blitz the Bookie. There's probably some listeners that know about CT's picks, but a lot of them don't. One of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
CT's Derby picks from 2 years ago. I'm probably going to put a little video together of that and put it out there maybe this weekend or next week. But we're coming back with it, Anthony. And we're going to put it on Blitz the Bookie too.
I'm not going to hint at it but I will just tell you, somebody came out of retirement.
Yeah, we might have a couple segments depending on what all we do. We might come with a live segment from Churchill Downs on Oaks Day. Blitz the Bookie, blitz the track, blitz the Oaks.
It's almost become a whole week thing. I've heard they're even talking about trying to do something Monday. So it used to be started Wednesday, now it's starting Tuesday, and now they're talking about they want to make all the money they can. You'd be broke by the time Derby gets there.
Well, they named Wednesday now is Wednesday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, more power to them.
People going to run out of money at some point.
It went from just Derby and Oaks to 30. And then 5-0 Tuesday, they started a couple years ago, and Wednesday was the only one left without a name, and they went and named it this year.
And I heard Monday they got something in the works for Monday.
They don't even race on Monday, though.
Well, I heard they're trying.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
I just almost think they need that Monday, because there's a lot to get done. You have opening weekend, which is a big deal. It's like Saturday and Sunday. And I almost feel like you need that, not unless they take off that Sunday, not unless they have opening day Saturday, take off Sunday.
That's probably what they would do.
Yeah.
I think.
Because there's no way, you need a one day in there with nobody in there, right? So you can bring everything in?
Well, they're probably already bringing that stuff
I know, but it'd be nice, I would say, if you're setting everything up to have one day when there ain't no damn crowd in there.
Monday.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, opening day Saturday. Last year, if you remember, we accidentally walked into the Derby drawing.
Yeah, we did.
For the post positions. We were out there on Saturday night, out at the new paddock, which is awesome. We'll talk more about that next week too. But we didn't even know what was going on, Anthony, and just walked at the right time. We were, I think we had to stand there for maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
A couple of big trainers, a couple of big owners. Rapoli and them walked past us. Everybody's there. Everybody's getting a draw. So.
Yep, they do a live draw for the Derby post position. So on Saturday night, we'll have it. So for our Derby special next week, we'll have post positions, we'll have odds, we'll have all the entries, favorites and long shots and everything else. So we're talking horse racing, Anthony. We just going to turn this into a Derby episode.
No, we'll get it jumped over here. Did you see where Lee Corso's retiring?
Yep.
I like Lee Corso. ESPN's being very loyal to him right now, which I respect. He's past his prime, no doubt. But the guy is a part of what college football was for me growing up, just like Dick Vitale was for college basketball.
He's that energy guy.
Yeah, Charlie, I'm telling you, for some people it's NFL in the mornings for the game start. For me, it is Saturday morning, waking up at 8 or 9. As soon as I wake up, I grab the remote control, turn it on. They're either Oregon or North Dakota State or Alabama. They're there. The sun's just coming up. Sometimes the sun's not up, and college game day's there. For me, that it don't get no better than that. Lee Corso was a part of growing that brand with ESPN. Him and Herb Street and Fowler, and now they got some new guys. McAfee, he's still going to be on it this year, isn't he?
Oh, I guarantee it. They've made it a whole spectacle. It's actually really fun to watch. They do the field goal for
I like that.
Put a number on it.
I like
they
that.
Give the students a chance at $100,000 or $500,000 to kick
That's
like a
all
30-yard field goal.
That's always been my thing, though, is waking up Saturdays, getting ready for college football. That's just my thing. So Lee Corso was a part of it. They're going to let him do one more game. Like I said, whoever runs ESPN is very loyal. I've seen them do it with Dick Vitale, with Corso. Both of them were past their prime. They knew it. Everybody knew it. But they stuck with them a few years and let them ride off into the sunset. Good for them. There ain't enough of that left, in my opinion. The guy helped build the brand. Let him go out on his own terms. August 30th to be his last game, Charlie.
Yep. Kirk Herbstreit helped him out the last few years, too.
I bet you they're buddies.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee you they're real good buddies.
A lot of people don't know this. Corso coached U of L.
Yeah, he
coached
did.
Coached the Dirty Birds.
Yep. So first game, that'll be his last game.
Not so fast.
Where's the game? I want to say that they said the first mascot head that he put on ever was Ohio State. Ohio State.
I would guess.
So is that what they're going to do? Like, I guess they haven't announced where they're going to be yet, right? Have they?
No, I can look it up.
I would say it's got to be Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless there usually is one big game.
No, Florida State and Alabama. It's Florida State and Alabama.
Florida State and Alabama.
Yeah. I don't know who's home. Maybe it's a neutral field game.
Florida State and Alabama. Yeah, there's usually one. That's what I thought. They usually got one big game. So, well, I guess it won't be Ohio State. Florida State and Alabama. What head's he going to put on it, Anthony? He's putting on the elephant, isn't he?
I don't know. I would say Florida State. I got to look at the portal. You never know. You never know. Like, you just got to let them.
I need an early pick.
Hey, I'm
going with the elephant.
Yeah, I'll go with them too. But I will say, I think Kalen DeBoer, I don't think maybe that's the job for him. But I might be wrong. I just don't think it's a good fit. I don't so far. Maybe he'll change my mind this year.
Well, yeah, Lee Corso. It'd be sad to see him leave. Wonder if they replace him. You think they're not going to try to get somebody else to do that?
So
right? They just get rid of the whole
they got
head part.
They got McAfee, in there.
No,
so.
I'm saying the putting on of the helm, the mascot.
Yeah.
You think they continue that with somebody else?
No, I don't.
I don't think so either.
Corso was always the energy guy. Herbstreit was always the professional. Fowler kind of got him through, and Desmond was over. He was a professional, but Corso was the big personality. Now the big personality is going to be McAfee.
So you think they bring McAfee up to the desk? Because who is it? It's
sometimes McAfee's up there.
Is he?
Sometimes I think.
Isn't it usually Herbstreit, Corso, Fowler?
I think McAfee's up there sometimes. I'm almost sure.
That's the same one? Nick Saban?
Yeah.
Is Nick Saban on there now?
Yeah, Saban does a good job too. You like Saban on there?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
No, he's real good. As soon as he starts talking, I'm like, turn it up, Rex.
And him and McAfee kind of
they like each other. No, they like each other.
Like they work well
they
together.
do. And nobody thought they were going to work good together. But they say they like each other.
They thought Saban would look at him like he's crazy. I feel like Saban kind of has fun with it, man.
Yeah.
Saban is pretty good. So I guess that's what they're going to do, right? They're just going to Saban and McAfee going to be like full time now.
Yeah, Saban was made for that job, dude. I've watched him. He does a really good job.
That's a good set. Herbstreit's the X's and O's. Of course, Nick Saban is X's and O's, but
he's wisdom. Let me listen. I want to listen to his wisdom.
That's a good balance of guys, man. I like that.
I always think about Rat Poison. He always says, when you get good and you start listening to everybody talk about you, he always says, don't eat the rat poison. Don't eat the rat poison. That is, it is, dude. I don't care what level of sports, college, pro, youth. You start listening to how good you are.
Oh, it can get you in trouble for sure.
Get you in trouble, my ass. It's going to get you in trouble.
Get you in trouble.
Make you not work hard, make you not focus.
All right, real quick before we get to the NFL draft, quick update on Kentucky basketball roster. We signed another player or got a commit today.
Denzel Aberdeen out of Florida, 7 points a game as a junior for the Gators, but they were the national title Gators. So I would like to think he's a solid player.
We got a little title experience.
That's right. I like it.
So what do you say? He averaged like 7 or 8 points?
It was like 7.4, and he's a junior, so he'd be a senior. He's upperclassman. He's on a championship team, know.
Is he a guard?
Yeah, I think he is.
Okay.
I think he is. I think
so the roster's set. I don't think it is, though. I feel like we're still going to get somebody else. I don't know. Maybe it is set. I felt like we were just one player short.
We'll see. I think it might depend if Owe is going to keep his name in the draft or not. I look for Owe to come back.
Coming back. You see he cut his hair? He cut it all off.
Did he?
It's gone.
Okay.
Yep. Right. Shaved it all the way down.
I like to think he's coming back, and I don't blame him for testing the waters. I mean, it's just kind of what you do. But, there is that worry. But I bet you that Pope has a pretty good idea of what's going on there. And he's watching that closely, because if he does go NBA, I'm not saying it's fine. I'd love to get him back. But
It
you
would
know,
be fine for us. That'd be a big loss.
it would. But that also would free up big money. I'm sure that he's going to be one of our top guys we paid. I'm not saying you can replace him. I'm just saying it's not like you just lose them anymore. If you lose guys like that now, you also free up X amount of dollars. I'm sure he's getting paid this year. Wouldn't you think he's getting paid this year?
I guarantee he's
Yeah,
getting paid.
he's got it highest on the team. You would say.
You got to be.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't want to lose him. By no means would I want to lose him. But if you do, just like when we lost that recruit, it's a budget now. So if you lose a big player, it does free up money. Sometimes I'm wondering if they're not pushing them out on purpose, certain players, because it frees up money. I think teams have the right to do that. Players are going to do that. So we don't even need to go on that subject. Me and Charlie can talk about that subject all night. We usually do.
Another big name that I heard today is the PJ Haggerty kid from Memphis, led the country in scoring.
Yep.
He is now in.
Wonder why he jumped in so late.
He is in the transfer portal. The portal closes tomorrow. I'm taking it that means that's the last day you can put your name into the portal. I know I asked you this, and I don't think
We never looked it up.
Is there a date that they have to be signed by? And
Not-
just sign all the way up until July? Oh, I mean, August? I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look into that.
But you know-
tomorrow the transfer portal closes. So by tomorrow, we'll know everybody that is available.
So I'll read you what it says, and I think they're probably right. So if you remember, Gilmore for us in football left on the last day in Nebraska. We got kicked off the team, and now he's back. So if that's good or bad, whatever, but that's about football. But he did wait till the last day, and I'm sure Nebraska bought him on the last day. Probably a little payback for Wayne Dale. I know they were butthurt over us getting Wayne Dale, but they've stole plenty of guys too. That's just the name of the game. But when I just Googled PJ Haggerty, why'd he wait so long going to portal? PJ Haggerty waited to enter the transfer portal, likely due to a lack of scholarship offers from his current team of Memphis. He was a highly sought-after transfer, and his decision to enter the portal suggests that Memphis couldn't afford to keep him. So it's probably what it comes down to. I mean, he's probably worth X amount of dollars, and they don't have X amount of dollars or don't want to spend it on that one player. And he was probably talking with them, and they maybe were trying to come up with it, but maybe just couldn't come up with it.
I would imagine he'd be high on everybody's list.
I would say a lot of those guys, and I could be wrong, because we're trying to figure it out. We're talking about it. We're trying to figure out like what works, what don't work, what's right, what ain't right, what rules are going to change. But do you think I think them kind of guys kind of got a decent idea of where they're going. Do you think maybe not all the time, but sometimes you think, Charlie?
I'm sure they got to have a little bit of an idea, right?
Or you wouldn't enter it, right? They're talking, dude. His agent's talking to people. I guarantee he's negotiating with Memphis, and Memphis is probably talking to people. So it's a two-way street.
I'm sure Memphis wants to bring him back. It must just be a budget deal because who would not want the leading scorer in the country back?
And you hate that for Memphis, but that's the name of the game.
Deal for Memphis.
Yeah, you hate that for him, but
love to see him at Kentucky. But I guarantee he ends up at a big time school.
So let me ask you this: if you were a coach, and I'm not going to say how would you put your team together, but if you were a coach, do you think you'd be more along the lines of try to get your team signed up quick, or would you think you try to save you some money for the very end, like a situation?
I think you try to build your roster with guys that fit your system probably as quick as you can. But I kind of like, now that you say this, I kind of like what Pope has done. I do feel like he kind of signed some guys early, but he left I feel like he left one or two spots.
Maybe some money
because
open?
You never know.
Well, the one guy decommitted.
Look at how this is working. The leading scorer in the country just now.
We could get it. If OA leaves, can we afford him, or is he too much? Wonder what his NIL evaluation is. What is OA's,
how many teams out there do you think that just signed guys in the last week or two that are probably like pissed now because this guy's available and they just signed some other guy and now they don't have any spots available or money available for a guy like this that comes available?
Do you think the price changes throughout the period?
What do you mean?
Like, do you sign them early because you get them cheaper early, or is it cheaper to get them late? Do you think the price of poker changes as the days go on in the portal, or less players or more players? Or
I think the price.
That's also something the coach gets to go through. I mean, I'm sure Pope's learning all about that. I'm sure every coach in America is learning all about that right now.
The price is just dictated by the player.
Yeah, but it's the market value. How many's in the portal and how many's left? Do you wait? It's almost like a strategy with any of it.
Yeah, but as a player, you're taking a chance too, because you wait that long and maybe you don't get a chance at a certain school because maybe they've already signed their limit of guys. Maybe they've already filled their roster.
1 point.
And now they don't, they can't pick up a guy like that. So I do think it's a risk for the players. It might work out, but I do think it's a little bit of a risk on some of these teams filling up their rosters early, and then you jump in the transfer portal late. I don't know. It's a lot of different layers to this shit.
They're saying he had a NFL, evaluation this year of 1.7, and they say Memphis star PJ Haggerty is asking for $4 million.
Yeah, good luck.
Somebody might pay it. I don't know.
That's too big of a jump. So he's making less than 2 and he wants 4. You know who that sounds like? That sounds like Nico,
but if they can get it, I'm with you. I don't like it, Charlie. I swear to you. You think I like it? I don't like it.
Does give him 4. I don't know.
Maybe he's already talked to somebody.
That seems.
Or maybe he negotiates down to 3. 3's still a big jump.
That seems.
You feel sorry for Memphis, though. If Memphis was willing to pay this kid 1.7, but you can't pay him 4, that's rough.
Tell him kick rocks for 4.
You say that if you're the coach, you're like, sign him, come up with the money. Your job's on the line. You want those guys? It's tough. It's a tough situation.
Too much of a standard.
I don't even know what's the right thing to say about it because I don't know the answers to it. Do you stand up to them? Do you not? We've talked about the Tennessee thing, and we've said, oh, yeah, great for I'm happy Tennessee did that. I'm right on board with everybody on that. But then I got thinking on the other side of the coin, does that give Tennessee a bad name because they ran that kid's name through the mud? People didn't think that, I know kid like Carson Beck got $4 million. I do think Nico's better than Carson Beck.
It gives Tennessee a bad name to the money-hungry kids that are only wanting the money. They ain't going to go to Tennessee.
That's what we don't agree. I think everybody only wants the money. Yeah, not everybody, but I think a lot of it is. I do. But
best thing Tennessee's ever done.
I like it. I like it.
Right there,
I like it. But does that hurt them? But does that? I know I've asked you this before. And I'm not saying it does, but I just got thinking, does that hurt them that they kind of ran that? They could have just let that kid go and not mention why and just, hey, here it is. But when a guy like Carson Beck signs for 4, another kid, does that set the market price? It's crazy how all that works. It just really is crazy how all that works. Do you think the players get jealous of each other because this guy's making this and he thinks it? Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why you can't go giving them fucking everything they want all the time because then the kids are really going to hold your ass to the fire. Once they see you giving a raise to one player, they're going to be, oh, yeah, I need a raise too. Speaking of Nico, he went to UCLA. UCLA for less than $2 million. I said I hoped he ended up at like Tulane for 1.5. It wasn't exactly Tulane, but it surely ain't Alabama.
No.
UCLA. Go ahead and go out there and get lost. Get your ass kicked in the Big Ten in a stacked Big Ten.
That's where he's from, though. That's where. And I wouldn't say they're stacked. They're top heavy, but yeah, that Big Ten is good. Big Ten is good.
UCLA ain't doing shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not unless they got money. But I'm with you. I am. I'm all about that. I'm all about the Nico situation. I think there's some different layers to it, but I don't want to dig into them because I think you start peeling them back. We've done it on the phone at nighttime. Dude, you can go in 100 different directions with this NIL stuff. And I think all these coaches are trying to figure it out as we speak, Charlie. And I don't think it's easy. I see Stoops going in a different direction this year. He's going with more good players and not putting all his money into 4 or 5 players and putting them across the board with a bunch of good players. That's kind of what Indiana did last year, I thought. And I kind of like the formula for a team like Kentucky. They got a decent budget, but not a big budget. Of course, if you're Ohio State, Notre Dame, you can throw the names at all the big teams, but within your budget, you got to find what works for you.
It's the wild, wild west. We've said it. Yeah. It's a mess. They need to do something about it. We'll continue to talk about it. All right, let's get into this NFL draft.
NFL
top storylines, NFL draft. Of course, it's going to be who's the number 1 pick, and it's looking like
Cam Ward.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much a lock.
Yeah, they're done with Levis.
Actually, did you see that he did an interview or a podcast or something, and they asked him the best receivers in the game?
Yeah.
I think he said Chase.
Okay.
And then he said Jefferson.
Okay.
And then he said the 2 receivers from the Titans.
I like it. I like it.
And then that was it. That
was it. 4. That was his way of giving a shout out to the top 2 guys. And that was a way of saying, I'll see y'all in a minute, guys.
And then they said, well, who's the top running backs in the league? And he said Tony Pollard and the backup running back for the Titans. And that's all he said. So it sounds like Cam Ward is going number one. If he's not, it's going to be a big surprise to everybody. And sounds like it'd be a big surprise to him, too, because he thinks he's going to Tennessee.
If you had one receiver, you could take one receiver from any team, Chase or Jefferson or somebody else. I used to say Jefferson for like the last year or two, but I'm starting to wonder if it ain't Chase.
Take Jefferson.
Yeah, I will too, but it's closer. It's closer than what I thought it was. Chase is good.
Oh, he's real good.
You imagine him, Burrow, and Jefferson on the same team at LSU?
Oh, they had a lot more guys than that.
No, they did. They did.
So I'm just going to go on record here. I'll ask you first. You got the number one pick.
Am I the Titans?
You're the Titans. Who are you picking?
First thing, and this don't count, I can't do this because it's not part of what you asked me. I probably would trade it. I think personally for me.
You're not allowed to trade it.
I got you, but I'm just make a statement. I'm going to pick one. But for me, number one pick's about a quarterback. It's a quarterback league, and I think it's a weak quarterback draft. So I would try to trade it like somebody that's really desperate now, and maybe I trade it for next year. Like last year's class was absolutely loaded. I think it might go down as maybe one of the best classes ever. Absolutely loaded with talent. Now, I'm not saying there's not talent in this class, but definitely they're short on quarterbacks. So, but if I had the number one pick, do you take an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman and try to grow your team? I think you got to take Cam Ward. You got to take Cam Ward. I don't like Cam Ward. It ain't that I don't like him. I'm in the middle with Cam Ward. I think you got to take Cam Ward, though. I'm not a Sanders guy. I'm not a Shedeur Sanders guy. I never have been. You know that. I think you got to take Cam Ward because it's a quarterback's league. And if you got the number one pick and if you're going to draft it and not trade it, I would trade it. But if you are, I think you got Cam Ward.
All right. So I do agree with you. Number one pick is usually a spot for a quarterback. I guess you could take a big stud tackle, but that's
a quarterback league.
Yeah,
man.
you need. But if you taking a quarterback, it's got to be Kyle McCord. Okay, it's got to be Kyle McCord. I don't know where they've got it. Where did they say seventh round? He's projected.
Charlie, you owe me $5, Doc.
Why?
You owe me $5. We made the $5 bet
on what?
The Kyle McCord first two rounds.
Did I bet that?
But yeah, we was jawing one night. But it ain't over yet.
So
it ain't over yet.
He's projected in the seventh round, which is absurd.
He can spin the ball.
I'm going to be a Kyle McCord fan as long as he does not go to the New York Jets and hopefully not the Patriots or the Bills, which I don't think he would, and then just don't go to the Ravens. Other than that, I will be cheering for this kid. No, I don't think he should be the number one pick, but
he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to Ohio State. He had huge expectations. He didn't live up to them. He could always spin it.
Didn't live up to them, but they lost one game that year.
Yeah, but
they lost one game.
It wasn't because of their offense.
Like,
it wasn't because of their offense.
Let's get rid of this Kyle McCord kid because we lost one. We didn't go undefeated. We lost one game.
Yeah, but I
thought that was crazy when they did that.
Yeah, but he didn't look good doing it, though.
Well, he looked really good last year. I know that was a completely
Charlie, we can bring you out of retirement, throw you up there in Syracuse, dog. And
I'm a beast. I know I could put up some numbers, but you ain't just throwing anybody in Syracuse. Whoever was in
Syracuse throws it 50 times a game.
So who was their quarterback 2 years ago?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Oh, I've never seen a team throw it like Syracuse, even at Hal Mummy's Air Raid.
They do throw it a lot.
And they play on a hard-ass turf.
I'm putting my name on it. Kyle McCord.
He got the chance.
I said it a few weeks ago, and I'm saying it again. Kyle McCord is the most underrated player in this draft, especially if they've got him going in the 7th round. That is crazy. You're going to tell me Riley Leonard is going to get picked before him? You're crazy if you do that. Kyle McCord is going to be a good NFL quarterback. But back to my number one pick. I'm not taking Cam Ward.
I got you.
I'm taking Travis Hunter.
If you're the Titans, you are?
I'm taking Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm taking Travis Hunter. I don't care who.
Are you playing him offense or defense?
I've done some thinking about this. We talked about this weeks ago, what we kind of thought Travis Hunter would do.
Some people think he can be a better offensive player than defensive player. Some people don't think he's a true corner. I've heard people say that if they drafted him, they wouldn't play him at corner. They would try to play him just at wide receiver. I don't know if that's true or not true.
This is what I say you have to do with Travis Hunter. For one, you don't see guys like this, and that's why I would not take the quarterback, because I don't think the quarterbacks are that great this year besides Kyle McCord, and we can get him in the probably 4th or 5th round. So we don't have to reach at 1. Travis Hunter is generational talent. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be an absolute stud, but I would be betting on him. And I think you absolutely have to start him on defense. Defense is harder to learn. It's harder to predict.
Big time.
If he's going to be a defensive guy, he's got to be a defensive guy.
Yep.
So you're a starter on defense because, look, these guys have practice. And guess what happens on Tuesday or Wednesday? You either got to be over here with the offensive guys or over here with the defensive guys.
The defense is harder to learn.
Defense is a lot harder to learn.
Yeah.
Offense is so much easier if you just
especially a receiver.
Insert a package for him.
Yeah.
You've already got your packages. You just add him to the package. Yeah. So
you missed an assignment on defense, you're getting a touchdown on you. You miss assignment on offense, there's other options.
Yeah. So to me, starter on defense. Give him some packages on offense to start. Probably very light early. I'd say the first handful of weeks is mainly playing defense. Got some packages for him here and there on offense. I'm sure they in the red zone or whatever, they'll get him in. But he will play both ways. There's no way that they just keep this kid on one side. I think he'd throw a fit and probably boycott if they told him he could only play.
I don't think he's active. I think he'll do whatever his team says. I think he's a good kid.
I'm not saying he's a bad kid.
I think he's a good kid. He might want to play it, but you can want to do whatever. But everybody's got a plan until they get here.
You think he's going to play both?
I don't think you can do a lot.
No, well, you can't be a starter on both sides.
It ain't just starter. I don't think you can play a high number. I think you can have like a very minimum package. The game is too pass heavy. There's too much running for both sides, receiver and corner.
But that's easy to do when you.
I know, but he needs those breaks. If you're a corner, you don't need to be out there running routes, dude. Not unless he's just that kind of value. Like
but he'll get 10 offensive plays.
I don't know. I'd have to see it. I don't know. And I'm not against it. I'm not against it.
You starter on defense, and then he gets 8 to 10 plays on offense.
Maybe
even not that many. Maybe 5 to 8 starters.
When Dion did it, it was more of a run-heavy league. It's a pass-heavy league. These coaches are so smart anymore, and they so much advanced stuff. They'll have receivers go out on certain routes just to wear his ass down. And I'm sure the boy's in top-notch shape. He's a freak athlete. I still think running all game, against NFL caliber players. And I do have a question of, I think he's really good, but I do have a question. Did he get some credit because he did play both ways and we hadn't seen it like that? Was there value added there? Is he just a good cornerback and a good receiver? Is he a phenomenal one at either one of those positions? I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but that is something that goes through my mind a little bit.
No, but if he could be really good at both of them,
yeah,
that's pretty good.
No, it is. I'm interested to see how they'll do it.
You can't play full time on both sides. That's impossible, and it would never happen in the NFL. The NFL is too hard to play just on one side. And
if you lost your receiver, you would lose your corner too. That's what would be rough.
Yeah, I think it's going to be defense, and then just little packages here and there to get him in on offense, get him some touches. Early in the year, it'll probably be very limited.
A decoy.
Just to get him some touches. But I do think as the season moves on and progresses, and maybe even into his second and third season, I think the kid's going to see some time on the offensive side.
Do you think there would ever be a world, I've seen this, a few people talk about this and write about this, where he becomes a wide receiver only?
Maybe.
Yeah.
2-3 years down the road, who knows what's happened? Maybe he's a full-time defensive player. Maybe he's a full-time offensive player. Or maybe he is just this Swiss Army knife that they can use however they want. Who knows how it's going to play out? I do think the kid is a can't miss.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I absolutely think he's going to last in this league and be a very effective player on whatever side or both sides. So I'm going with Travis Hunter if I got the number 1 pick. I like Cam Ward. I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe he ends up being really good. I've told you I like Sanders. Mm-hmm. I told you early in the year and throughout the year that I like him. Don't know how good he's going to be in the NFL, but I'm anxious to see both of them because I kind of like Sanders and Cam Ward. So I'm anxious to see what they do. They're saying that Sanders is dropping fast. You saw out of the first round. I was seeing number 9 to New Orleans.
I seen 12 or 13 too, or
And
somewhere
I'm
there.
also hearing that maybe if he slips to Pittsburgh, which is like 21, that they could possibly.
What about if he slips number 13? What do you think?
I haven't thought about that. Look, I like.
They got too much money into it, right? They got too much money.
Two is not.
And plus, they got Zach Wilson as his backup, dude. I'm telling you, buy you some Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson will end up playing this year,
dude.
I can guarantee you that.
I'm gonna tell you this: if I was a Miami fan and say Tua went down, God forbid, but Zach Wilson come in the game, it might not work. But I promise you, I'd be on the edge of my couch saying, "Come on, man." The Jets were bad. They were bad. Darnold got out there and showed out. The kid was a top 2 or 3 pick or one. I forget what he was, but that was just a few years ago. So, I mean, there was a reason. Aaron Rodgers went there and it was a mess. They got a mess down there. But
I trade Tua for Kyle McCord straight up.
Tua's better than Kyle. Yeah, Tua's grown on me, dude. I told you I've not been a big Tua guy.
He is good.
He's grown on me. He's grown on me.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, I always had problem with him with the long ball. I always thought, man, he never stretches it downfield, but he gets it out quick.
It's real easy to forget because he got injured that second time, which was sad, but he was playing like shit before that. He had like 3 interceptions.
Bills got him.
Yeah, he was playing like dog shit.
Yeah,
so
it's
I am up and down with Tua. I like Tua. I thought he might be the guy. Very accurate. Good in McDaniel's system, but the long ball is not very accurate, and he just can't stay healthy. So I think we got to go in a different direction. They're not going to right now. But you said Zach Wilson last year when he got hurt. I like the idea. Of course, we didn't go get Zach Wilson, but we got him now, and I think he's very serviceable backup. Still young and still very high upside.
If I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm Miami,
if he's any good.
When did Tua get a new contract? Did he just get like
2 years ago?
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I want to see what Zach Wilson has. Just a few years ago, he was a top pick. The Jets are horrible. I want to see with somebody besides that train wreck up there. And he might be a train wreck himself, but I want to see it just like when Darnold went to Minnesota. I want to see it because
I agree.
I'm not convinced the boy's not no good. I could even say the same about Daniel Jones, but I would almost be willing to bet more on Zach Wilson than Daniel Jones because I do think you've seen Daniel Jones enough.
We saw enough of him.
Yeah, but it's but I will say this: he went to Indy because he thinks Stephen A. I thought made a good point on one of his shows. He says, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones is calling you out, and another guy said he didn't call. What are you talking about, Stephen A.? He said, yeah, he is. He said he could have went here and here. But he decided to go to Indy. He decided to go to Indy because he don't think you're going to do your job. And he's still all in with Anthony Richardson. They say he's worked hard this year and stuff. He's got all the tools. But I thought Stephen A. made a good point. That was him kind of calling him out like, I'm going here.
Saying this is his best shot.
Yeah. Maybe you could say the thing.
Right.
You think maybe the same thing with Zach Wilson with Miami? You think it went through his mind at all?
Oh, guarantee it. Not about Tua not being good, but just knowing he can't stay healthy.
He still Zach Wilson still believes in himself. Wouldn't you say? I'm not saying he's good. I don't know. But with the situation he was in with the Jets just being a couple years ago, that boy, he wants to prove to the world. Now, he still might be weak, but he wants to prove to the world, right? Don't you think so?
I would think so.
I would still be holding out hope.
He's still got a chance.
Oh, I do too.
What Daniel Jones doesn't know is by walking into that locker room, he just made them the worst quarterback room in the league. Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones.
You know, they actually got some good receivers. They got Pittman. They got that Adonis Mitchell.
He walked in there and thought he upgraded the room. He just it was neutral. You just walked in and you're the same. Like you're not. He ain't no better than Anthony Richardson.
Giants were bad. Oh, we'll see. I would be more willing to bet on Zach Wilson, but I'll give Daniel Jones a shot. I'll tell you some guys that jump off to me, Charlie. I'm mixed with this guy, but I do think he's an underrated guy a little bit.
I almost hit a full court buzzer beater there at the end of the third quarter in this Pistons.
Running backs are not valued, okay? But I'm going to say that I might draft Ashton Genty. On this board, he's going 6 to the Raiders.
I think every board I've seen for the last 2 months has him going to the Raiders. I have not seen anybody else project him go anywhere. Have you?
No, I haven't.
I haven't. I've never seen a player, except maybe a first number one pick, that is like They are getting it.
Maybe because it's Pete Carroll wants to run. I know the Raiders says they want to have kind of the same formula Philly deal with running the ball. Pete Carroll likes to run his running backs. People don't usually take running backs number 6.
No, everybody's saying that's everybody's been talking about that for what, 10 years, 10, 15 years. I mean,
but the running backs
the
are
draft has changed when it comes to running
no.
backs.
I remember when New Orleans and Mike Ditka traded the whole team away to get Ricky Williams.
Oh yeah, they act like you're crazy now if you try to draft one in the first round.
Yeah,
shit, you try to draft one at number like 18 and people look at you sideways.
I kind of agree with them a little bit, but I don't want to believe in them because I love to run the ball. I've told you when the Giants didn't sign Saquon, look, it was great for Philly, but that wasn't going to happen at the Giants. Like, it works for him because they have so much balance. So that's the same reason I like Ashton Genty. Everybody's saying, well, Penn State shut him down. If you watch that game, Penn State had one goal in mind in that game. They weren't going to let him beat them.
Like that. He ran for like 200 against Oregon, though.
Yeah, and he did. But Oregon's run defense wasn't that great. But I will say this: Penn State's shut him down. There's no doubt, and he still got a few. But that's all they were doing was keying on that guy. Like, and you got a defense like Penn State against Boise State's offensive line. They're just keying on him. Anybody can take that away. That would happen to Saquon. That would happen to Derrick Henry. You let somebody key on you like that. That's what happened to Saquon in some of those games with the Giants. And the boy from Boise actually threw for a few little decent yards because they literally were giving them single coverage everywhere. Their focus was on stopping Genty. So, in saying that, all year people knew they were going to hand him the ball. And I know what is in the Mountain West, but all year they knew that Genty was getting the ball and people still couldn't stop him. And so I'm going to say I want the running back to get popular again. And I think just those angles I'm talking about, I think Genty at number 6 might be a little early. Maybe he's a generational talent.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be good. I'm not another situation where I'm not going to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yep.
But I do think this kid's going to be good.
Yep.
I
agree.
Maybe he is a generational talent. I don't know.
I like the big boy in the middle from Michigan. They got him going to 11 to the 49ers, the Mason Graham. I also like, I was telling you about, I seen that cornerback from Texas jumped up there, the Barron kid at number 13 to Miami. Look, you know how I felt about Texas's defense and their pass defense. You know? Yeah.
That's what we need. Offensive line and defensive back.
Ohio State was passing over everybody and going that game. I thought Texas really played with them, but one of the main reasons was they were able to slow down Ohio State's passing game, and nobody was able to do that late in the year. And that boy, he's a top cornerback coming off the board besides Hunter, so he had to be their top corner at that point. So, I like that idea. That Michael Williams at Georgia, I've watched him a handful of times. They got him going 17 to the Bengals. I like that, and especially because he's going to the Bengals, but not just because of that. So he's another one that jumps off the page to me. And then far as late first round,
Milroe.
Yeah.
What do you think about him? You like him at the next level?
He's a big, strong, freaky athlete. He can throw the ball. I don't know how smart he is or how good of a quarterback he is.
How is he so fast when he's so big? They say he's really fast.
Dude, he's like a freak athlete.
How is he so fast?
Well,
he don't look fast.
Do you remember like the year before last, before he had the whatever? I used to say, run the ball, dude. Just like
do you think he looks fast on the field?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah.
I feel like
he's big.
I feel like he looks like a powerful runner, not like a fast runner. Then I see
he's fast, dude. He's fast, dude.
Holy shit! I did not know he was. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the way he runs, or
he's
so big.
He can throw the ball. Wow. Remember
how big is he?
He's a big boy.
6'4"?
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, how is he so fast?
I don't know. I know that he could throw the ball a mile too. Remember that big one he threw to Ryan Williams against Georgia after they came back? I mean, he was supposed to have a big year, and I just think the whole Kalen DeBoer thing, I think that whole team just never took to Kalen DeBoer. So maybe you play that angle and play that the kid, he's got all kinds of talent.
Shot, right?
You said beginning of first. That's a high pick.
What did I see? The first pick of the second round? Is that what I saw?
That is a high pick.
And who was that?
The Cleveland.
It was
Cleveland. Yeah. So
I could see Cleveland doing that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he's not a sure thing. And Cleveland loves that.
Yeah. They need to hit on one.
And honestly, if he goes to Cleveland, he's probably going to end up sucking because that's just what happens to Cleveland quarterbacks.
Yeah, I hate to say that.
Except maybe Baker might be the only one.
Yeah.
Baker's had a little resurgence the last couple of years, but usually quarterbacks go to Cleveland to die.
Yeah. No doubt. I like our boy from Kentucky. A lot of people got him at like number 23, 24. Harrison, the cornerback. I know he had one of the fastest 40s.
Just don't go to the Ravens, please.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Those guys always end up at the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Charlie.
Devin Leary gets drafted by, I know he's not no good, but he gets drafted by the Ravens.
You know, you never want to give up on Devin Leary. I see a lot of potential in him. I collect his card, so you don't want to give up on Devin Leary.
Who they got Harrison going to?
Minnesota, one of them I looked at.
I like that.
Jack Sawyer, he's in the draft. Late first round, early second.
Who's that, the Ohio State kid?
Yep. I like him too.
Where they got him going? Late first, early second?
Yep, that's where they got him.
I like that kid.
I don't know how his game transfers to the NFL, but I love everything about him. He wasn't a player that jumped around, but you know, if you're good at Ohio State, you don't jump around because they write you a check.
Oh, my other sure thing. Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I like him.
Warren.
I like him. Do you think he transfers to the NFL? I do.
I think he's the next big, good tight end.
Yep.
I like him a lot. I don't think you can miss.
Does he help you? Does he help you with blocking? Or I don't know. Is he a good blocker? I don't even know if he's a good blocker or not. I know it's a thing with tight ends. You get those.
They ran a lot more than they threw.
Yeah. No.
So I would say he's probably a really good blocking tight end. I don't know that, but being on Penn State, I would guess that he is.
Pretty much it's the consensus. The first offensive lineman going to be off the board. It's going to be Will Campbell. Mostly everybody got him going in the top 5 or 6. He's the offensive tackle from LSU. They say he's a day one starter at guard in the NFL. Maybe a day one starter at tackle, maybe not. But Will Campbell sounds like the safest pick on the offensive line. Looks like everybody's first receiver coming off the board is the McMillan kid from Arizona. You know, the big 5-star that went out there with his buddy to play quarterback. We've seen him play before. He's good. He's good.
Look like that Egbuka kid. I think I might even take him first over that Arizona kid. But the Arizona kid is good. But that boy from Ohio State, I think he's going to be a good playmaker in the NFL too.
Other guys you're seeing on the draft board early, Walker, the defensive end from Georgia. You're seeing him up. The big offensive tackle from Texas, the Brooks kid. He's showing up on a lot of early draft boards.
We haven't even talked about the best defensive player in the draft.
Who's that?
Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing him going number 3. Who's got the 3rd pick?
He won't get.
The Giants.
Yeah, I think Cleveland probably should. I don't know. I get the Travis Hunter. I'm okay with that, but
Who's got the 2nd pick? Cleveland. Oh, I hate that for Travis Hunter, dude.
Yeah,
I hate that for Travis Hunter.
Look, I like Travis Hunter, and I don't mind that pick of Travis Hunter. But if they took Abdul Carter, if you told me to pick who's going to be the best player out of this draft, you give me one player, not what's the most important position in the NFL, but the best player. For a safe bet, I'd probably take Abdul Carter.
He's a can't miss too.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's a problem. The kid is a problem when he's on the field. I think he's definitely an NFL starter. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he could be really good in Cleveland and then send Travis Hunter to the Giants.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a better fit for both of them guys. Travis Hunter at Cleveland, who's throwing him the ball?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson?
Do the Giants have anything to trade up for Tennessee? The Giants are in that situation.
Milroe?
Who's the coach of the Giants?
Hey, Jalen Milroe and Travis Hunter.
Who's the quarterback of the Giants right now? Do they got one yet?
Yeah,
No?
they got
Fields?
Drew Lock.
Okay, Fields. Okay.
Drew
I'm just saying that their coaches
and Danny DeVito.
Their coaches in that situation and their GM where they got to win. Do they try to draft up to get Cam Ward? Do they try to get somebody free agency? I don't know. So,
I don't think Tennessee's doing nothing with that pick. They ain't getting rid of that pick.
You don't think they're going to stick with Will Levis?
No, they're taking Cam Ward.
There for a minute, I thought they might give Will one more year. I don't think Will's good. So I wish he was, but I don't think he's good. But you know what? It might be that they just got a bad team too. So don't give up on Will. God,
the Giants do need a quarterback, and I did kind of see that the Giants are still talking to Sanders a lot, but they're not going to pick him at number 3.
Tennessee needs a quarterback,
I don't think.
Tennessee, you'd have to. I think you'd have to.
Tennessee, I think, is locked in to take Cam Ward.
Yeah,
everything I'm seeing.
Yeah, they've already told him, or he wouldn't be saying that stuff.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, you'd have to give up. Giants don't got enough stuff to give up. So,
the steal of the draft, guys, Kyle McCord.
Okay,
steal of the draft. What about Louisville's quarterback? I know that he's getting some pub right now.
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck, I think is how they say it.
I hope he was that good.
They're saying he's the third third quarterback on the draft board.
I
right
hope
now.
he was that good, because that means that was, I don't even think Louisville was that good. So I hope he kind of was that good. It kind of makes me feel like, okay, you lost that. You just got lucky and got you a good one. So I'm looking for any angle I can against Louisville. So that's a reach, but I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
It's
We always looking for stuff like that in the rivalry.
No.
They do it all the time too.
I'm really feeling good about that Jihadi Barian, or however you pronounce his name, the Texas cornerback. I remember him. I remember he always just did a really good job on the high level receivers. And you got Will Johnson too. It's another first rounder, the corner out of Michigan, helped won a national title last year and was really good this year. Michigan's defense wasn't the problem this year. So there's 3 or 4 really good corners in the first round. It's a corner heavy and a defensive line heavy draft this year. The defensive lineman, it's loaded as far as this draft goes. Last year, you had so much star power in the draft. I mean, you had 5 or 6 legit quarterbacks, 2 or 3 legit receivers, a legit tight end, 2 or 3 legit running backs, a few legit offensive linemen, and most of them end up panning out, if not showing promise for the future. So, look, the NFL draft's coming. Everybody's favorite team will be looking to fill needs, and it seems like the formula to win in today's NFL is hitting the draft. The Eagles did it. Looks like the Rams did it with their defense. They've drafted a bunch of really good young defense players, so they're going to have a cheap, good young defense. This year it was young, but now they're just going to have a cheap, really good defense now. So that they traded Cup. That's going to free up money. Watch out for the Rams, as always.
One quick thing back to Ashton Genty. I think Pete Carroll's got a pretty good track record when it comes to drafting players.
Does he? Okay.
Well, I mean, think about that. Think about those Seattle teams that were really good with the Legion of Boom. All them guys were drafted by most of them. Most of that defense was drafted by Seattle. And I don't have this in front of me, and I really have no clue. But I'm just thinking back of the good Seattle teams. I feel like a lot of them guys.
Do you think the head
were
coach
drafted by Seattle?
Do you think it's a team approach when it goes to draft? Do you think all the smart heads in the room get together? I've told you, I think drafting is so much more advanced than it used to be, because I feel like in basketball and football, they used to take that All-American player just because he was a winner in college. I feel like they see through that so much more now. There really ain't and I'm not saying that don't matter, but I don't think it matters as much as people used to act like it mattered, say, back in the 90s and stuff.
I think if you want to run a successful organization, all your top coaches and
talent evaluators,
personnel needs to be involved in the draft process.
I would say they are.
You got to have somebody that makes the call, which is your GM, but your GM and your head coach and the top assistants, they need to be on the same page.
In today's NFL, you got to hit at it if you want to keep your job. So they're not just letting head coaches make decisions. I mean, I'm not saying that it wouldn't. Head coaches are smart enough to know, hey, guys, you're the best at evaluating talent. Every team has them. You're talent evaluators. They're just really good at that. Some people are really good at coaching, X's and O's. Some people, that's their skill. That's their special skill, is evaluating talent. So I'm sure they get all the smart guys in the room and put all their minds together and probably argue a little bit and argue a little bit more, and they come up with a decision.
Oh, we've all seen the videos, the pictures on draft night of them in there in the war room, and there's 20 people in there.
I would like to hear some stories that maybe weren't ever told, like some teams that were going to take Brady, or we were going to take this or that and we didn't. And I'm sure that they don't want to throw their buddy under the bus, but I would love to hear the backroom stories on that.
Oh, there's plenty of them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But them 20 guys that are in that room, they're all involved in the process. And I'm sure your defensive guys are in there, your offensive guys are in there, and you can't agree on everything, but everybody's, I'm sure, in on the process. But when it comes down to it, the GM and the head coach are probably the guys that are the ones that are making that final decision.
No, they are.
You just got to hope that they're on the same page, and you got to hope that all your assistants and stuff are on the same page too, even if they don't.
We can agree to disagree, but we can.
I'm sure there's plenty of times where the defensive coordinator's like, "Hey, man, this guy, I'd really like that," and then the offensive coordinator's like, "Yeah, but this guy." And the head coach has got his opinion, and the GM's got his opinion. But the successful teams and the successful organizations do good jobs at working together and end up having successful drafts. We know the teams that usually have shitty drafts, And guess what? Those are usually the shitty organizations.
There's a luck factor in it, though. I do think there's a lot of more skill than luck in that, but I do think there's a luck factor.
There's a little bit of luck in everything, but
Yeah.
we got a big sample size of some of these teams that have been drafting like dog shit for the last 20, 30 years, as long as we can remember.
Yeah. But like Miami took Tua. How did they know Tua? And Herbert was right after him. How did they know? I just seen
right
that there.
before him, wasn't he?
No, right. Right before him.
Yeah.
Miami could have had.
Yeah.
No, Miami could have had Herbert.
That's what I'm saying.
And Tua, like if he wasn't hurt, Tua would probably be a good pro quarterback. How do they know he's going to get hurt?
We also could have picked Matt Ryan back in the day. Guess who we got?
Who?
Ted Ginn.
Okay. Ted Ginn was Ohio State.
Yeah, and we took him with like the 5th pick or something, top 10 pick, and Matt Ryan was sitting there.
Didn't y'all get that guy from Louisville, the wide receiver? He started off the NFL good, didn't he? That big athletic wide receiver Louisville had, Devontae Parker.
Yep, we had him for a while. He was good.
No, he was good. He was good.
He
was good.
All right, I guess that's about it with the
That's
NFL draft. But there is one note here: Aaron Rodgers still unsigned. Anthony, what do you think about that?
I seen him make a deal with Minnesota that he said
he made a deal with the devil.
Yeah, he's trying to turn his name around. He's an idiot for going to the Jets, old dude. Why'd you go there?
Be like Brett Favre.
His selling point to Minnesota was, I'll come in 1-year quarterback, and I will be
Brett Favre.
No, but no, he said he would be a willing mentor for J.J. McCarthy.
Bullshit.
That's what he said.
Bullshit.
That's what he said.
I call complete
He's trying
bullshit.
to save his legacy, Charlie. I would do it.
You heard him say that?
Yeah, well,
No, you
I
didn't.
read that. I read it.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I read
There
it.
is no way Aaron Rodgers said that.
I swear to you, he
Put out.
Not unless that's fake news.
I don't know. I don't know where you saw that, but that
Fake news, probably.
That is absolute bullshit. Aaron Rodgers would never say some shit like that. He don't want to mentor nobody. Matter of fact, he's like, if you make me mentor somebody, I'm not coming. I call bullshit on that.
Okay.
Oh, man. Aaron Rodgers says he's going to mentor somebody. Holy shit.
I told you I read it.
I need video.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you because I kind of need it too, but we're sitting here reading it again.
Some reports of him pitching a 1-year deal to be a I need video. I need video. I need audio, and I got to know it's not AI. Aaron Rodgers did not say he was going to be a mentor for anybody. No way.
He's trying to save his legacy, and that's a better situation. I do think Aaron Rodgers has a lot to gain or lose this year. It don't matter in the big scheme of things if you're just worried about money and like who gives a shit. But his legacy's kind of on the line, dude. Like everybody knows he's great, but he kind of went up there and made an ass of himself, which is like a bad person. The Jets were a bad situation. I don't know what he was thinking. Most of these guys, when they go somewhere, they go to great situations, the older guys. But maybe he thought he was that good. But now maybe he's thinking, my legacy's on the line. I actually like somebody trying to pick him up for that reason alone. Not unless Aaron Rodgers just totally don't give a shit about his legacy. Dude, if he made an ass of himself again, that would really hurt his legacy.
I almost think that he was in Green Bay for so long that I feel like there was something about a big city that was tempting to Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. I think that might have played a part of him leaving Green Bay and going to a big city and just going to New York. Because, why do you go to the Jets, dude?
They're bad, dude.
God, they've always been bad. They're another place that quarterbacks go to die.
Do you think he thought he was good enough? Like, I'm good enough to make anybody good.
I absolutely think that his ego and his cockiness made him think that he could go to the Jets and make them better. But for some reason, I do think it had something to do with let me test out this big city life. He going back to, I think he's
to the north.
I think he's going to end up in Pittsburgh, man. Yeah, I think he's playing a little holdout game on Pittsburgh right now. From what I've kind of heard, Pittsburgh is willing to take him on. I don't know if they've made an offer or anything, but from what I'm seeing and hearing, Pittsburgh wants him, and he's kind of playing this waiting game with them.
He's a good cold weather quarterback. Even though he's getting older, and most older guys don't, I feel like he handles the cold well, dude. I think the guy handles the cold well.
He didn't try to go to Miami or somewhere.
I'm just saying there's a lot of indoor arenas. Like with Pittsburgh, if you're going to go play quarterback for Pittsburgh, you're going to go play quarterback Green Bay.
Wouldn't you say Pittsburgh's pretty similar to Green Bay in a lot of ways?
Yeah, it is, but it's not
city?
quite as cold, but it is still cold. Look, there's some quarterbacks that ain't good in the cold. There's a guy down in Miami. I wouldn't trust him in the cold. Until it's a warm weather. He's a warm weather fish. I remember when that playoff game, everybody was saying, well, he's trying.
Yeah, that was a little different.
I know.
It was Game of Thrones.
I know, but still. But they said it. They said he's from Hawaii. He played college in Alabama. He played pro in Miami. Like, he's never played in cold weather. So everybody was very skeptical, was worried about it. And when he came out there, not everybody was so right. The dude looked like, God damn, he looked cold, dude. He looked cold.
I was cold just watching that game. It was like negative 25.
But like when you watch Aaron Rodgers or old Ben Roethlisberger, them dudes are made for this shit. They got their big beard.
Yeah, there's some guys that are made for it. Aaron Rodgers is one of them.
Yeah, Big Ben was made for that shit, dude. Big Ben. Tom, for whatever reason, Tom was made for it, man. He was made for that cold shit. Not all of them are made for that, dude. I'm telling you, they're not all made for that.
Yeah, I think Rodgers maybe ends up in Pittsburgh. Maybe he's waiting to see what happens with the draft. I don't know. You think that could play a part in kind of why he's not signing with anybody right now? Maybe he wants to see how the draft's going to play out, who's going to draft somebody, who's not.
I don't even try to
because he probably doesn't want to go somewhere and be a mentor. Like, there is situations like Penix and Cousins last year. Cousins gets signed, and then they turn around a couple weeks later and draft Penix.
I don't think it's about money, the Rodgers, and it might be. I think at this point it's about legacy. He earned his legacy a little bit. His legacy was big time, and he earned his legacy a little bit. I think he's going to try to have a little redemption and ride in the sunset. If I was him, that's what I would do.
I do think Pittsburgh would be a good fit for him.
He needs to go somewhere that's like a good team, dude. Them old guys that go other places, they don't go to bad teams. They've always went to good teams. Go to a good team, Aaron. Damn, dude, are you an idiot?
Go to a good team and a well-run organization. What are you doing going from the Packers, who are a top 5 organization, to the Jets, a bottom 5 organization? Stupid. Ego.
That had to be, dude. That probably had to be, if you really think about it from that standpoint, that maybe is one of the biggest ego moves we've seen in the NFL.
Now, I said 85% ego, 15% let me get out of this small city, this small town that I've been in for 15 years. Let's go try out the big city. But I think 85% was, I'm good enough. Go up here and make the Jets.
He's got to have money because you can't.
He's got plenty of money.
Because you can't spend that much money in Green Bay, can you? Can you spend money in Green Bay? I'm saying if you made Aaron Rodgers money all those years, all those endorsements, can you even waste that much money in Green Bay?
He has been in the league for what, 15 years?
Yeah.
He got plenty of money.
Yeah.
He's had huge contracts. He's got plenty of money. It's not about money. I think it's completely about ego right now. But I think his leverage isn't as strong as it was a year or two ago.
No. Look, I'm not the only person thinking what I'm thinking. Other coaches are probably thinking the same thing I am. Like, is this guy, there's no way he would come in here and act that way again. But is Aaron Rodgers that crazy and just don't give a shit?
Well, I hate to bring my boy up again, but there was 2 teams I saw linked to Kyle McCord, and it was the Saints and the Steelers.
Are you his agent?
I'm not getting paid, but I should be.
Yeah.
I should be. I asked you before the show, like, what am I missing? I don't even
look. Charlie's serious. Hey, Charlie's serious about this. So me and Charlie, we talk sports off the podcast and stuff. He'll argue. He'll win an argument. I'll win an argument. We go back and forth. And one night he called me. He was fired up for Kyle McCord. Man,
I don't know why. I don't even know why I'm on the bandwagon as much as I am.
Because he can spin the ball. He can spin the ball.
I do. And we've talked enough about Kyle McCord. We can get off of it, but I do wonder what it is that I'm missing, or like,
go watch some of the. Go watch some of the.
The kid is really good.
Go watch his Ohio State film. It don't look as good as the Syracuse film.
I seen him. I watched him play. This is not satire. I swear, I'm not fucking around. I really do.
No, he does. I know you do.
I'm right on this.
I don't mind being wrong on it. I don't mind because I do like the kid. He seems like a good kid. If I'm wrong on him, I'd be happy for him.
Pittsburgh be a good spot. I like it. That was just the only point in bringing it back up was I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh, dude. I swear I would. I think that'd be a great pick. So, all right, that's it. NFL draft coming up on Thursday. We'll see if any drama plays out, if we get any trade action, if Aaron Rodgers goes anywhere. I know there's some talk about Cousins possibly maybe being moved because I think Atlanta's found their guy with Penix. So they're in a little situation with a big contract that Cousins has. So who knows what movement.
Somebody's got to take that contract on. It's got to be a desperate team. Maybe the Giants.
Everybody's excited to see the who goes first, and Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and Sanders, maybe even Genty. I'm more excited to kind of see this Tyler Warren. I really like to see where he ends up. And even though I'm not a huge fan of the kid, Milroe, I think, is very interesting.
Oh, he is.
So I'm going to be watching to see where Milroe goes and Tyler Warren and, of course, my boy Kyle McCord. But, yeah, we'll see what happens on Thursday. I'll be watching. Do you watch the draft?
Yep, I do. Anything to do with draft.
First 10 picks, though? First 15 picks?
Yeah.
Maybe the first round if you can get through it, but that's bad.
Anything.
It's tough to watch.
I started watching
First 15 picks is good, though.
When I first really got on the internet with college sports, back in the day, I was like everybody else. I watched anything I could get a hold of because there wasn't much news, reading newspaper articles. But when the internet started getting big in sports, I've told you about the message boards, but it was all about recruiting. That's what got everybody big. That was following the recruiting was funner than sometimes the season, the build up of the players and watching them. And I've always enjoyed that aspect of the draft, trying to build your team. It's almost like a game within the game. It's fun when you got something to look, for example, just say Miami was to draft Sanders. Whether you think he's good or not, there's hope. You know what I'm saying? There's like, okay, I want to see him. There's excitement.
I hope we don't get him, though.
Yeah, you say that. Kid could be good.
No, I said I think he's good, but I just, no.
They got Tua. They got enough.
Zach
options.
Wilson.
Yeah,
right?
dude.
Zach Wilson.
There's a reason McDaniel brought him in. McDaniel's got the same questions I got. Don't mean he's good, but McDaniel's probably like, I'd like to see it myself.
Yeah. NBA playoffs are going on right now. Anthony actually got it on right here. Game 2 of Detroit and the Knicks. Looks like the Knicks are down 6 with about 4 minutes left. Detroit's been actually up in this whole game. So
I'm going to make a prediction. OKC does not lose over 3 games in the whole NBA playoffs.
They are looking good. It's trending probably towards a OKC and Boston, which was the boring pick. I picked the Knicks. They did win game 1, but they're on the ropes right here. I'm going to tell you what just when I was about to talk about him too, Anthony, this Cade Cunningham. Do you remember him from college?
Yep, I do.
Oklahoma State.
Yep, I do.
Ended up he was the number 1 pick in the draft a couple like 2 years ago.
I think UK almost got him.
It's him right here with the ball. He is a stud in the NBA right now. He had a hell of a game 1.
He has 33 today.
Does he really?
33, 11 rebounds.
Yeah, dude, he is a beast. Oh,
he ain't no SGA. That's all I know.
No, he ain't that. But
no, he's good. Oh, he is good. I know he is.
Younger than him, and he's going to be good. Watch out for him. I'm cheering for the Knicks because I picked him to go to the finals. What a dumbass. There was one other. We had a couple upsets, Anthony, in the first round. So Golden State steals one from the second-ranked Houston the other night, but the 2 seed and the 7 seed, and Houston was a 1-point favorite.
Yep.
But you've got Golden State. Is that 50? Look, there's 50. 50 Cent sitting courtside.
Give her hit your die trying.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the upsets. Golden State was 7 seed, but only a 1-point underdog on the road to Houston, and they pulled out, stole game 1. I think Golden State's going to win that series, man. They got Jimmy Butler. Jimmy's
always been good.
Maybe one of the best players in the NBA that doesn't have a title right now.
He's underrated too. Like nobody ever gives him his props.
I don't think he's really underrated.
But I feel like people just throw him around like he's not a franchise player. Like
yeah, he is. Yeah. And now he's in Golden State trying to get him one. I don't know that Golden State wins it this year. Matter of fact, I don't think they win it this year. But I do think I'm gonna say Golden State's upset Houston and win that series. They took game 1. There was one more upset, Anthony, that we talked about. Who was
I know my
Milwaukee.
But Indiana kind of got their number. That's a close point spread, but they're up 1-0. But that's kind of their kryptonite.
Actually,
Milwaukee.
Indiana was favored by 6 in that game.
Was it? I know Lillard. They moved him up from out to questionable for game 2, so they're trying to get Lillard back. Looking at the Heat's
He's still going through that sickness or something.
Yeah. Looking at the Heat's lineup here, Heat's got 3 Kentucky boys: Adebayo, Hero, and Johnson. I think
Keldon Johnson play for them now?
I think it's him.
Okay.
And they got I think
he was with the Spurs. He got traded?
Maybe that's not him. Let me check. Maybe that's Kobe. No, that's Kashad Johnson.
Oh,
okay.
But Tyler Hero is playing his ass off, boy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he is. You're
Tyler
right.
Hero is playing good.
No, he is. No doubt.
Detroit only up 4 here with 3 minutes left. The Knicks are getting some stops. Karl Anthony Towns. Uh-oh.
So we're it is playoff time. That is the best time for NBA basketball. There's no doubt about that. But the NBA struggles any other time.
Is Milwaukee the higher rated team?
I'm not sure.
It's a 4-5 matchup, and actually the Pacers are 4, so that was not an upset. You said you was locked into the NBA. You should have known that.
I know. I don't got the information. I have some insiders, and I'm just not getting my inside information right now. Gary Payton II still playing for Golden State. He had 7 points the other night.
Yeah, so the Thunder looking really good. They are. The Nuggets look pretty good. They beat the Clippers the other night. Jamal Murray, Jokic doing his thing. The Nuggets look good.
I like Murray. I've always liked Murray. Remember the arrows?
Yeah, he always shot the arrows at Kentucky. I don't know if he's.
We were supposed to have. I think it was him and Trae Young at year. Trae Young ended up going to Oklahoma, but we all but had Trae Young. Talk about a player that's good at that. Sheldon Sharp. I think he's pretty good. He's the one that.
Shaden Sharp.
Yeah, he was the one that took that money from us and faked injury. Yeah, faked injury.
Yeah.
And we probably would have won it that year with him. We were already really good, and he did his dirty. So everybody's learning with NIL.
These first round NBA series, as I'm kind of breaking them down, there's only a couple of them that are going to be good, I think. The Thunder are absolutely just outclassing the Grizzlies. That'll be a sweep. I think the Celtics are going to sweep. The Cavs are going to sweep. Even though I like the Heat, I don't think the Heat they're not going to match up with the Cavs. They got their ass rolled yesterday.
Cavs got that one dude that's real good. White boy, he's good. Houston gets one of those too.
I think the main ones to watch, and Nuggets and Clippers are 4-5. I think the Nuggets are better. Maybe that one ends up being a good series, but the Lakers got beat. The Lakers got beat game 1, Timberwolves, the 6th seed.
I don't trust the Lakers.
Look, I'll admit I was wrong because I didn't think that Luka coming was going to make that big of a difference. I definitely didn't think it was going to make them a championship team this year, which it's not. But they did end up with the 3 seed, so it did make a difference.
But Dallas seems to be doing okay too. They seem to be doing okay too. So
it's going to take them. It's going to take them another year, though. This isn't going to be. I don't think the Lakers get it done this year, but I do think they set up for maybe next year with those 2 guys. I think this is just a warm up for them. I would like to see the Timberwolves beat the Lakers in that series, but who knows? We'll see. They did get game 1. So watch out for upsets there on the Lakers and the Rockets. But the East, I mean, besides this one that we're watching right here, which I think this is going to probably turn out to be a good series. Detroit's holding on to a 2-point lead here with a minute and a half left. But I don't like any of these other series in the East. The Cavs are going to roll. I don't know about this Pacers-Bucks. Maybe I need to look a little bit more into that. Maybe that series is going to be good, but Magic have no shot against the Celtics. But I think once we get into these next round, the bad thing about the NBA playoffs is they drag on pretty long, dude. I feel like it takes forever. Oh, Knicks just tied it up. All right, so, yeah, hockey playoffs, too. Let's go, Caps. Did you pick a hockey team to cheer on for the
No, I'll pull for whoever you pull for. Who's the best fighters?
Cheer on the Capitals.
I'll pull for them.
I don't know who the best.
The best American fighters, I'll pull for them.
The best American fighters.
Yeah, I don't.
Just cheer on the Capitals. Damn, they had a 2-0 lead, and now it's 2-2.
I did hear that Wayne Gretzky was not happy about Ovechkin breaking his record, and he's thinking about coming out of retirement and getting in the race, kind of like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run race. Gretzky says he's not willing to take that laying down. So talking about coming out of retirement. I don't know where he'll go, but I don't even know who he played for his whole career. But the Rangers, or did he play for the Rangers? I don't know. It's
for the Kings.
Did he play for the River Frogs? I don't know.
He's gonna come back and team up with Ovechkin. And
No, he's going to try to get his record back. That's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Trying to get his record back. I would love to see something like that, though. You see the movies where the old guy comes out of being a farmer and makes a comeback? What player could make a comeback right now? Like
in what?
Anything. I don't give a damn anything.
Probably not many.
Yeah.
Maybe a kicker in that.
Can Janikowski make a comeback?
Maybe a kicker.
I'd love to see Janikowski.
He went downhill so fast at the end of his career, though.
He drank a lot.
He went from being really, really good every year to just sucking.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if
that's a good question. Let's think about who's the old player that could make the comeback.
Well, we heard it 2 years ago. Jockey's come back for the Derby, and we're predicting one might come back again this year. So who knows?
Could a pitcher in baseball, maybe an old good pitcher? No one's still firing, son. I seen a thing where like they brought him out for something. He threw I forget, but it was a pretty high number that he threw. The old man's still humming.
The answer.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux.
Yep, because he don't rely on speed.
Greg Maddux.
Don't rely on speed.
I bet he'd come out right now and put in work. I mean, he only threw like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Did you ever seen that little TikTok video or something? And his teammate was saying they were up by like 1 million, and he comes in, he says, "I'm gonna pitch this to him," and he told him after the game he pitched it to him and let him hit the home run because he was working for the playoff pitch to set him up. Dude, that's God shit.
There's a lot of Greg Maddux videos going around lately. They're all good.
Yeah,
they're all.
Well,
good.
I guess when you don't have the speed, you got to play you got to play every angle.
Dude, I seen one the other day where they said Javi Lopez, which was the catcher, young catcher for the Braves. He ended up being really good. It was like an 0-2 count, and he called this a low pitch or something, and Maddux threw a completely different location, struck the batter out, and then walked towards the catcher as the catcher's throwing the ball back to him. He walks toward him. He's pretty much saying why would you, he's kind of berating the catcher. Why would you call for that stupid spot? And he actually said, I don't need my catchers to call spots. He said, I'll call the pitches. You just catch them and hit home runs. That's what he said about his catchers. He said, I pitch once every 5 days. I can call my pitches and I'll take care of the pitch selection and location. You just catch the ball and hit home runs. That's what he said.
Did you ever hear, not to change subject, but so supposedly Wade Boggs came in the game a few times and they say he had a nasty knuckleball. Wade Boggs, I seen a video on it. He was giving people problems with this knuckleball. He went 1, 2, 3.
The Orioles needed Wade Boggs yesterday because we had a bullpen day and we ended up pitching 2 position players and the Reds scored 24 runs on us.
That's the big red machine. That's the big red machine.
We needed
Ella de la Cruz.
Did you see the play he made yesterday? You didn't see it?
All I know is they'll never be good because they can't afford pitching. They gotta.
Dude, you need to go look at the play he made yesterday.
Superstar stuff.
Definitely the best play of the year.
He's
one
good.
of the best plays you're going to see.
He's good.
Yeah, but we needed Wade Boggs. We needed somebody. We needed Nolan Ryan or Greg Maddux yesterday because my boys gave up 24 runs.
Maybe they'll bring Dennis Eggersley out of retirement.
I always loved Dennis Eggersley.
Oh, son. Yeah.
The Orioles suck right now, dude. Oh, my God. I don't even want to talk about it.
Does Albert Bell still play for them?
I wish.
Or Joey Bell?
No, we had Albert Bell. We had Sammy Sosa late in his
dude,
career.
I read a thing a guy said here recently, a big baseball guy, a guy that I respected and was reading his stuff. He said he thought Albert Bell was maybe the most underappreciated rated player ever. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I don't know that he's underappreciated. He was a hell of a player there for a while.
Yeah, I guess this guy was thinking he was really good. I don't know.
He was. Albert, he was really good. Yeah, he came.
I guess he was saying he didn't get enough credit for how good he was. I guess that's what he was trying to say.
He cheated too, though.
What, Juice?
Oh, probably juicing.
You don't know that,
I think
Charlie.
He exploded a bat one time with cork in it.
You don't know that.
I might be wrong
you
about
don't know that.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Do you know that for a fact?
Yeah, he cheats.
You cannot put that on public radio.
You remember how big he got?
That's working out.
Albert Bell was definitely juicing.
Spinach.
Yeah, spinach.
Remember the Russian when he was training? They said there's reports after he killed Apollo. He said there's reports that
don't spoil the movie.
Right. He said, he said, hey, there's reports that, antibiotic steroid in the Soviet Union, and his little Russian girlfriend said, no, he eats spinach like Popeye or something like that.
Took steroids too.
Popeye was natural, son. That's working on them Navy ships.
Yeah, right. Popeye
Son.
took steroids.
No, that was called adrenaline. They fuck with olive oil and he fuck them up.
All right, looks like Detroit just pulled away in the last 30 seconds. They're up 6 with 3 seconds left. So
all right.
All right, guys, that's it. NFL, NBA. But guess what? It's all about the Derby, Anthony. It's all about the Derby. We're going to try to come back next week as early as we can, get our Derby episode in. Tune in. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about all the contenders, the
good times, the bad times.
Who we like. We're going to have some fun with it too. We'll talk about some of our favorite maybe Derby horses, Derby moments. We'll talk about a bunch of shenanigans. There's plenty of shenanigans to talk about when it comes to Derby week, and there'll probably be some new memories made this year, some new shenanigans that happened this year.
What about if we can bring the infield atmosphere to the clubhouse? That needs to be the goal.
Stuff's going to be changing with the infield.
That's right.
They got big renovations going on, so stuff will be changing. Who knows? I know one thing: prices will be going up again. Price me out of Derby, but we got a good Derby party to go to. If we don't get the code, I got 2 people, Anthony, working on a code to get us into the backside for Derby.
Just find out whoever hacks my bank account. They'll get you the fucking code.
I know you got hacked again. Yeah.
I'm not even going to get into the amount, but a lot of, like, for my family, it's a lot of money the second or third time. So, like, whoever's hacking for my codes, that's who you need to get.
No shit. That is.
Dude,
that worries me, too.
I'm going to be honest with you. Like, at first, it never bothered me because I know the bank could cover it.
It's still a pain in the ass.
But Charlie, it's starting to worry me. Like, does somebody got our shit, dude? Like, when I get a couple of days off here, I'm going to go look into. Of course, we got new stuff, but I'm going to call the fraud department. Won't let you talk to you, but they cover it, so I can't bitch. But talk to me. I'll talk to you.
Don't even want to know the details.
Well, because they're probably checking to make sure it ain't you. Which they can check me. I don't care. But we woke up last Saturday, and I told you how much was gone, and it was like, this is the second big amount. The 4th time overall, but 2 times were just debit cards. Last 2 times were checking accounts. So, and I thought the last time was big. This time they doubled it.
That's nuts.
Now, it did take us 4 days to find out, but
that's what happens when you got a couple billion.
No, I ain't that. I don't
keep track.
I don't look at my phone notifications. That's the problem. Hey, if you ever text me, I don't text back. It's not because I'm rude. It's not because I don't like you. I got so much stuff, and I'm sure everybody does. I have so much stuff coming up my phone, dude. I almost become like numb. Do you ever get like so many messages, Charlie, where it like overwhelms you?
Oh yeah.
And I just say hell with it.
Notifications on shit. I can't even turn the notifications off. I download a new app. I got a damn new notification. I can't stand this shit.
Where's you at, dude?
That's not even including the spam shit that you get these days. I'm getting spam calls. I'm getting spam texts now. You get spam texts?
Every time I go to these websites, but you know what kind of websites, dude, my stuff's never the same. They get my bank account. I go see little action at nighttime, and next thing you know, I'm getting spam accounts. They're getting my money. I just signed up for a couple things, and next thing you know, they got everything in mine.
Dude, everybody knows that we're a pro-Trump podcast, but I'm gonna tell you, Trump, get rid of these spam calls. It can't be that hard. Fucking stop. Please do something to get rid of these spam calls. Make phone calls great again. Do something.
Let me ask you. I want to ask you a 100% honest question. When you were a kid, we both grew up same age, internet age. Did you ever put a computer out of commission from the Trojan horse virus on your computer? Like, I'm serious. Like, did you ever? I took one out. I think everybody I know took one out. They didn't update their antivirus stuff or whatever you had to do back in the day.
I think I did that shit with LimeWire.
Okay, yeah,
LimeWire?
I remember I had a guy come look at mine one time. He said, "Dude, you just need to get a new computer." I think my mom was in the room, and he just kind of looked at me.
Just gave you a wink.
Yeah, he gave me a look, and he said, "Son, stay off these websites."
I think I fried my mom's computer when LimeWire came out. I was downloading every song. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever.
You know, the
It's probably
best,
like 2003.
best invention ever for like technology is when you didn't have to buy the $25 a month antivirus, and Apple it's just like in your phone now. I never could get that right, dude. Like I would buy it and then I don't know. Too many bad websites, I guess. I don't know.
Come on, Trump. Get rid of the spam calls. I know you can do it. I know you can.
Dude, I get numb to it, Charlie. My wife even says, you don't look at that. Like, I'm numb to it. I get so much of it. That's
Dude,
why sometimes I don't get back with people right away because I'm so numb to everything, dude.
I seriously, Anthony, get probably, look at this. Here's just my recent calls from today. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 calls that say potential spam.
I get 3 or 4 my wife's a dental hygienist. They're trying to get her as like, oh, Katie, come work for us. This ain't Katie's phone. This is her husband. So I'll start messing with them, sending them back messages saying, Katie makes 40-something an hour. Like, can you match $90 an hour? Dude, like I just send them back crazy text messages.
Hell yeah, might as well. Everybody else is doing it. Nico's doing it. You might
right.
as well ask for double.
Yeah, fuck it. What are they going to say?
All right, guys. If y'all listened all the way through, thank you. We appreciate you as always. Don't forget, check us out on all the social media stuff and continue to like and subscribe on whatever streaming platform that you're listening on. Tell somebody about us and make sure you tune in next week. Special Derby episode. It's going to be fun. We got some fun segments coming up. So tune in next week. Derby, Anthony, I can't wait. We're going to Oaks. Hopefully we can get all our work done. Get your work done by like Monday, Anthony. Monday. We need to be at the track the rest of the week.
You laugh, but that's the goal.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I'm trying to push jobs up right now to get
Saturday.
ahead.
Let's get it done.
Yep.
Let's get it done.
See
all
ya.
right, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Blitz the bookie.
All right.
Charlie got the mic, he's dropping facts all day. Anthony's like, nah, I got the better parlay. Argue about the spread, it's a fierce debate. But when it comes to Wildcats, they align their fate. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. Late nights, hustle deals on the line. Charlie Scassy's gonna make you shine. Anthony's heart where the numbers combine. Put your cash down, ride the incline. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. The bookies where the knowledge reigns. Charlie and Anthony bring the heat like flames. Talking parlays, breaking down the games. Kentucky Wildcats, they beat the same drums. From the tip off to the final play, they grind. Mike's on fire, bets on their minds. Arguing odds till the last rewind. Blue and white, it's a bond you'll find. Bond you'll find. Blitz the bookies where the knowledge reigns.